Hey everyone, it's Linnea here for LDRS Creative, and I am mixing products again. I'm going to be using some products from this newest release from LDRS Creative. I have the Cozy Cuppa Stamp and Die Set along with the Peace and Joy 4x6 stamp set, and I'm going to mix that with the poinsettia background stamp from last year's Christmas release. The poinsettia background stamp was one of my favorite stamp sets from last year's Christmas release, and it's another one that I haven't used yet this holiday season, and so I really wanted to bring that out again. I have the mug here from the Cozy Cuppa Stamp Set, and I'm going to ink that up with my Raven Hybrid ink. I'm being careful as I press this onto my white cardstock because this has that large empty area in the middle of the stamp. Sometimes I get some extra ink on there, and I don't want that to transfer to my project. So I stamped that onto some white cardstock as well as onto some masking paper. And now with that masking paper, I'm going to be cutting out around the cup. I'm not caring about the top of the cup or the handle. I really just want to have a mask to mask off the outside of the cup so I can stamp an image on the inside of the cup. Now the Cozy Cuppa Stamp Set does have a layering element to it where you can stamp a design into the coffee cup, but I wanted to kind of work off of that idea and create my own design inside of my cup. So I cut out the center, and I'm going to be actually using the negative portion of the mask rather than the positive portion. I'm not really cutting out the image itself. Instead, I'm cutting out the center of that coffee cup. And now I'm going to grab the Peace and Joy 4x6 stamp set, and I'm just going to pick which one of these two floral images I want to have fill up the inside of my coffee mug. Once I have that lined up, I will ink that up with Raven Hybrid ink a couple times, really pressing hard because I want to make sure that I get that stamped image all the way to the outside edge of that coffee cup. And now check this out. Now I have that pretty flower design from the Peace and Joy stamp set in the center of that mug from the Cozy Cuppa stamp set. Here's a quick shot of the markers I'm going to be using today. In addition to those, I'm going to be coloring the coffee mug a warm gray color. So I'm going to be adding in some W4, W3, W2, and W0. I'm going to color up this image using traditional Christmas colors. So I'm going with some dark cranberry red colors for the poinsettia, and then some green colors for the leaves. And then, like I said, I'll be doing the mug in a warm gray color. I wanted to keep this card traditional Christmas holiday colors, but you could color these flowers any way that you want. I think it would be really fun to have blue poinsettias. There's a couple members of the design team that have been coloring some gorgeous blue poinsettias, and that's super inspiring to me, but for some reason I'm always stuck in that red poinsettia, which is okay. I love them. I think they're pretty when they're red. When I color with alcohol markers, I start with my darkest marker, and then I blend out towards my lighter shades. I find that that gives me more dimension and more depth doing it that way rather than having my colors blended together. I like to have, especially for florals, I like to have some of that real depth of color. I'm going to finish up this image just by coloring, like I said, with warm gray markers. So I'm starting with my darkest color and adding where I think there should be shadows. Then I go to my darkest medium color, blend that out a little bit, then to my lightest medium color, blend that out a bit more, and then I'll go all over with my lightest color, which in this case is my W0 marker. Then I use the coordinating Cozy Cuppa dies and cut out that image. I also stamped some of that whipped cream and colored that with my W2 and W0 marker and die cut that as well. Here is the poinsettia background stamp. This is a, I think it's about 5.5 by 5.5 inches background stamp. Love this one. It's really pretty and it's gorgeous to color. But today I just wanted to use it as a simple background. So I mounted that in my stamping platform, and I'm grabbing some iced tea hybrid ink. I'm using my Stamp Pendable tool to really press that down and make sure that I'm getting a nice impression. This iced tea ink pad is my favorite brown color right now, so it's a little bit dry, so I needed to stamp this twice, but that's no problem. Again, using my Stamp Pendable just to make sure I'm getting nice even pressure, and I missed just 1 or 2 spots, but in the end it turned out really nicely. Now I'm going to grab my A2 Stitched Layered Card Toppers die set, and I'm going to do a bit of die cutting. Right now I have the largest die cutting out this poinsettia background panel, but I'm going to actually end up cutting it with the smallest die. Then using the medium die to cut a piece of red cardstock and the largest die to cut a piece of green cardstock. I pieced together a sentiment that says, "Let's cozy up with a cup of cocoa," from that Cozy Cuppa Stamp Set. And I stamped that actually 3 times. I stamped this in brown ink, black ink, and red ink. I wasn't sure which color I would like the best, and when in doubt, rather than having to stamp, put my stamp away, cut it out, see if I like it, and then if I don't, try it again, I just stamp it all 3 times, and I'll cut them all out, and I'll pick whichever one is my favorite, which happened to be the black, and then I'll just keep the other 2 in with my stamp. So I'll put it in the back of my stamp pocket, and I will have that sentiment stamped and ready to go for a future card. I used liquid adhesive on all 3 of those stitched layered card toppers and just adhered them flat to each other. And then I'm going to go ahead and pop up that sentiment as well as that cozy mug with some foam tape. And then to finish off this card, I'm going to go ahead and add a whole bunch of iridescent type pearls here and there around my mug, coming out from behind my sentiment, and just peeking around here and there to finish this off. I hope you enjoyed this easy tutorial using some masking to fill up that mug with whatever image you want. All of the LDRS Creative products that I used in this card are listed and linked below in the video description. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!